Hi everybody, it is Andrew back with you here today, and today I want to go into an interesting topic of why is VIPKid still hiring so many teachers? So they have been gun-ho here for quite some time, and again, this is new to me. I'm just observing this. I will first disclaim I have no inside information. I'm just a speculator like the rest of us trying to guess what exactly is going on with VIPKid and why they are still hiring so many teachers. Here is what I think. And again, this is my opinion only. I could very well be totally out to lunch on this. I'm sharing my opinion only. Let me disclaim that first. So I think there are three potential reasons why they are hiring so many. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because if I'm right, we need to position ourselves now in order to prepare for something like this scenario that may take place. There has been so many rumors, and from what I can tell, there's been rumors for quite some time that they are looking to expand to other countries, and that is very, very, very likely to take place. I don't see that, from my opinion anyways, I do not see that happening anytime this year. So I see that happening in a fair amount of time away, because you can't just turn on the switch for something like that. A good strategy for VIPKid would be to acquire a company that is already doing that in a different country. That is usually the easiest way to get into the country. You've got a customer base, they've got a following. That is usually the easiest way. I don't know if that's the way they're going to go, but that is the easiest way to do it. So maybe they are contemplating something like that. So let's just push that a reason aside for the time being. And the reason why I'm pushing it aside is because I read the end of year email that we all got out there from one of the founders, and the tone was very much that there's going to be a lot of changes this year and they may not be pleasant to teachers. Now, I could be wrong in that reading the email. I'm just trying to read between the lines like you and me, but that's sort of the vibe I got from it. They are excited about the changes that are taking place, but there's going to be some bumps along the road from reading between the lines in that email. So let's get into three reasons on why they could be gun-ho on hiring so many teachers still. Now they did axe, I think they axed the milestone payment, so that maybe changes the incentive a little bit. I spoke about this in in a prior video. I don't know why they had that to begin with. Who is going to stop trying to get referrals just because the milestone payment isn't there? In fact, I think they're going to try even harder to replenish the income that they are now losing from those not having the milestone payments. So I didn't understand why they had that to begin with. Maybe at the start when you're really trying to ramp up, but at this stage, like, there's almost 100,000 teachers, I think, or maybe there's over 100,000 now. I don't know. But it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I was glad that they made that update in terms of the milestone payments. So here are the reasons why I'm speculating, and I'm very much speculating. I don't know, I'm just speculating. Here are three reasons why I think they have the pedal to the metal here with hiring. So my first reason is more teachers makes it so that the survival of the fittest remain. What I mean by that is when you bring in all these teachers, the competition is now that much more fierce, and that's going to drive up the performance for the teachers. So this is great for the students and for the company as a whole, because the more competition there is, the more we have to really put our A game forward in order to get the students. Because if there's only a few and the students are trying to fight over us, well, you can just coast. But now we're seeing, from what I gather from the comments, that there's just so many more teachers and it's tougher to get bookings. So the survival of the fittest mentality is coming in here. So that is the first reason, and that is a good reason for VIPKid to keep hiring teachers. For them, it may not be for us, but I'm looking at this from the outside in. I'm not bringing the teacher's bias on it. I'm just looking at it from the company perspective in a way a strategy that they're taking. So that is number one, survival of the fittest. Number two, the 24-hour bookings. Now, brace yourself. I think that is about to be axed. I would say in 2020 that will be gonzo. And the reason being is because when you keep the pedal to the metal, hiring the teachers, you no longer have to give that incentive. Why? Great question. The reason is because now we will be desperate for bookings that it really doesn't matter to have that incentive, because there will be lots of teachers that will keep the 24-hour system there because they need the bookings to make ends meet. So if they bring in lots of teachers, they can axe that 24-hour $2 premium that they are giving per class. And that will impact a lot of those teachers who are booking on 24-hour systems only. They are spending millions of dollars every year on this payment. So on these $2 extra per class, like I bet you they're spending $100 million. I don't know. I haven't done the math. I'm just trying to guess at answers, but I bet you they're spending maybe $100 million a year just on the $2 premium per class. That's just a wild guess. I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something in that range. So if you can save that money and still get the performance, which I think they can, then I think that is the way that they're going. And we have seen so far the new incentive plan, and it really does jive with maybe axing that as well, the 24-hour $2 premium. So I don't know, but the writing looks to be on the wall for me. And again, I'm just speculating. That may not happen this year, but I would be shocked if this does not happen at some point in the next, let's say, year. I will be shocked. But I've been shocked in many things before, and I've been wrong in many things before. This could be another one, but that's just my thought on that. Now, number three, we're really going deep on this one. So we're really diving deep. And like I mentioned in a prior video, I had a girlfriend once that said, "You think too much." And she was absolutely right. She is. But we're diving deep on this. I'm thinking a lot on this one. Here is another potential reason on why VIPKid is hiring so many. This is what I would do if I were them. Now, this is not good for teachers. Potentially, it can be good for teachers. But here is what I would do if I were them. I know that there are cons to this. You can leave those cons in the comments. You can leave the pros. And again, I'm not saying I'm necessarily in favor of this. But here is a potential reason. When you have a lot of teachers, when you've got a surplus of teachers, which I think they're at the stage now of having a surplus of teachers, here's what you can end up doing. You can really have those teachers compete against each other. So I've already talked about the second reason of competing for the 24-hour bookings and potentially taking that off. Another potential reason is that they could allow teachers to charge less to fill slots. So you could have teachers basically bring their own price on what they are willing to teach the class for. So just think about this. We could be competing against each other to get classes if there are so many teachers, and this will likely not impact the people that have a good following. If you've got a good following and you've got students already fighting over you, well, it's probably not going to impact you. But those fringe teachers here that are just starting, and I was just starting not too long ago, and if I were in that boat, it would be very tough to get people in for, let's say, the quoted price of $10 American. And I know obviously VIPKid charges more than that, but let me just use that number. So this is what they could be doing. And again, I stress could, I don't know, I'm just speculating. If they get teachers competing on price, what they can do is they can, first, they can be more profitable as a company. They can. Second, they can then make it cheaper for the students, the average student in China, to afford this. Because what they can do is they can pass off some of the discount to the students, or to the parents, I guess is the better way to say it, and they can keep some of that too. What I was thinking about this, or when I was thinking about this, is for me, I had a class one morning, and we all have those scattered classes all over the place. I had a class, I don't know, I think it was like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I didn't have another class for 2 hours. I thought to myself, if they let me discount the slots in between, I would be willing to work for a little bit less because I'm up anyways. I'm not going back to bed. I'll end up sleeping right through the class. So I stay up and whatever, waste some time or do some prep or whatever and watch some YouTube videos. And I'm thinking, what if I was able to say, listen, I will not even take the short-term booking $2 premium. Just book me a class and I will teach that for, let's say, I don't know, $9 American or whatever. I could put my own price tag on there. Now, I know there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that would have to take place to allow that to happen, but with the technology these days, I'm sure they could do something like that. So I could discount those slots to then make them more appealing potentially for someone to pick up on. And again, there's going to be a certain price where you're not going to be willing to cut your price. That's just reality. You're not going to say, well, I'm not going to teach it for $5, but maybe you can discount it a little bit. I would definitely take off the $2. No problem. I'll teach that class for $10 American to fill in some of the holes that I've got there. So that's just a possible thing that they may think about doing in the future. Now, this is probably a long ways off here, or maybe it's not. I don't know. And it may not even happen at all. But that's a possible thing. On the other side as well, which could benefit the ones that have a following, here is the good end of it. And again, you could even argue that is good for teachers for some. It's not going to be good for most, but it could be good for some, like my situation of filling in some gaps that while I was up anyways early in the morning. Here is another potential slant to this. What if they allowed teachers who had a big following to charge a little more? So we're back to economics here, and I'm a business person, so I love this type of stuff. Let's go back to economics class. Supply and demand. So if there is big demand for certain teachers, why not allow them to charge a little more for each class? Here is what that will do. So those teachers will likely fill up anyways, even if they charge an extra $1 or $2 per class, because if they've got a big enough following, parents, they're already paying a ton for it anyways for this education, which again, there's definitely merit in. I'm not knocking the education, but it is expensive for your average family. That's just a fact in China, and not everyone can afford it. But if they allow them to increase their prices and set their own price on there, it allows them to make more money as a teacher. VIPKid could also take a little slice of that as well for allowing you to do that. And here's what that will do for the teachers. This will help to bring good teachers, or more, let me say this again, more good teachers to VIPKid. Because if we start being allowed to do that and someone's got a huge following, now maybe they say, well, I'm not going to go teach at GoGoKid or whoever the other competitors. I'm not going to do that because I can make so much more here tailoring my price, and my schedule's getting filled because I've got a nice following. So there's tons of teachers out there that are teaching across a couple of companies, so that would help to crush some of the competition and take some of those really good teachers that are going in different directions and have them solely working at VIPKid, because now there's an even bigger incentive to teach. And those teachers as well that are maybe coasting a bit and riding the old milestone payments and the referrals, this will give them an incentive to teach you even more, because now they can charge more and it makes it more worth their while to teach. So I just see so many potential implications of this. So, and again, you can argue whether it's good or bad. I'm just stating some potential pros and cons to it on the company's perspective, on the student's perspective, on our perspective. I'm not weighing in whether it's good or bad. I'm just throwing some stuff out there that they could be contemplating. And I stress again, could. I have no idea. I'm just thinking as a business person, is this something that they could be looking at? And I think there's merit. I do. I think there's merit in it. For the company perspective, they're trying to make this as affordable as possible. Now, if the teachers are able to charge more, that doesn't accomplish that. But at the same time, there's parents that can afford that. So anyways, that's just something that I was thinking about, and the reason why I'm thinking about it is because if that is the way that they're going, we need to position ourselves accordingly. And again, just trying to get ahead of what could be taking place. So that's just something to keep in mind, something to think about. I don't know. It may never come to fruition. I could be totally out in left field on this one. I've been out to left field and left field on a few things in the past. I'll continue to be. So anyway, something to just think about, and leave some comments if you think there's any other reasons on why they could be continuing just to hire when it seems like there's a surplus out there. So leave me some comments. Leave me some thumbs up if you like the video. I love when you subscribe to my channel. Please hit subscribe. It makes my day. And I'll hope to see you soon in the next little bit. I only took one take on this one. I think I figured out my lag. Thank goodness. No more takes. 7 takes in one video.